Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Jonathan, the TogaMan guitar viol guy. And yeah, I know it's been a little quiet signal from my end. It's been quite a year to say the least. Hope all of you out there are okay. I know, yeah. So anyway, we had a fire out in California in January, and the times leading up to that were just, we were dealing with spiraling of industries and the aftermath of the COVID pandemic and all the other stuff that came with that, all the market conditions that changed and everything. So went from having the big dream shop, which was quite a good thing, just at the wrong time apparently. Anyway, I feel like a goldfish returning to the fishbowl after a decade or more in the bigger pond. So yeah, it's quite an adjustment, going from cramming 1,000 square feet into the corner of this garage here. Right now where I'm standing, normally we'd have our car, so imagine me walking around all this stuff. And fortunately, I've gotten a couple of my good fixtures, like this particular thing here is, it's one of the benches I can't live without. The other one is my thing on wheels here. The setup bench, slash, when I'm gluing these together, I just put a top on this one last night. And so there's all these little processes. It's a lot different because before I had maybe 6 or 7 benches throughout the shop with things in different parts of progress. Now I'm having to deal with space issues and cramping up. So I'm doing the best I can, being a good sport the best I can. But I'll tell you, it's quite an adjustment. It does not expedite anything. So that was why I was fighting so freaking hard to keep the Valencia shop operational, but it just times didn't support it. I wound up dealing with things like chronic stress, and which is kind of like having a low-level PTSD, fight or flight. You're on all the time. Every morning is like a freaking fire drill, which is normal for being a solopreneur running a business. But when you have a client base that's 90% IMDb profiles, and people have their little arbitrary deadlines, wants, and this and that, and it became too much, and it impacts the actual work. And I used to have a few proteges and people coming by and helping. Nowadays, that's not so much the case. In fact, I had a team of trained people in Fillmore, which was somewhere in the, I'm going to say 2015 to 2019 era, which was quite excellent and good. It just was kind of a real fiasco with the city hall, and that led to being in Valencia from November 2019 to end of February 2025. So I've been kind of having to have things kind of up in the air, not knowing whether we were going to stay here in Los Angeles and California in general. I'm out in the Stevenson Ranch, otherwise known as Agrestic, California. If you ever saw the movie or the series Weeds, pretty funny. But anyway, so here it is, the Agrestic garage. And right now, I'm enjoying having some cooler weather coming in, and we're going to have a lot of rain here in the next few days over the weekend. So I guess about a good 4 days of rain, which is pretty much the opposite of the constantly 20% or less relative humidity, which we've seen in California this whole year, which is perfect for fires and all that kind of stuff. So that explains that. We had last year, I was doing about this time, I was actually putting up little public service announcements about the dry and maintaining your instruments, wooden instruments, keeping them from swelling and cracking when you have weather whiplash events. Meaning you go from a lot of rain and then suddenly you're extremely bone dry and you have this expansion, contraction, cracking thing that goes on. So yeah, it's a bit of that. that's why, and a lot of, just to be very clear, people wonder why I don't build the electrics, which I've got some stuff going, some irons in the fire with that. But really, I went over to building basically an acoustic made of composites called the 10X. And those of you who followed me know what it is. And it's made out of hemp. Basically, you can see I'm sort of working with one over here in the mold. It's all, you know, pretty much, this is a hemp substrate. Initially, I was doing them out of carbon fiber, but that was not going really smoothly. So I kind of just, you know, went that way. And that's where all the R&D, imagine doing R&D in the middle of all the drama of the pandemic, the supply chains, the everything that just gets locked into this cascading effect of too little, too late, materials coming in too late, resources coming in too late, and eventually it just, you know, there's just, I had to bounce. I still have a lot of work to do. A lot of you folks out there waiting on the stuff, and again, I'm sorry I didn't see a lot of this stuff coming. I'm having to readjust as a human being also, just to be able to not go through these Chinese fire drills every freaking day, but to actually, you know, work with some peace of mind. And now, like I said, I'm enjoying the cooler weather. We had it was triple digits out here, no CM bugs attacking me left and right. Those little biting midges that are kind of like mosquitoes. Imagine holding a cup of epoxy in one hand and a brush in the other. You got your gloves on, and you're getting attacked by these little suckers, man. And they just eat repellent spray, deep spray for lunch. They'll fly right into a citronella candle. They don't care. They just, and we had a record year, as it turns out. I guess the old AI research had indicated that we had an exceptionally high level of these bugs out here in Agrestic for a little while. So anyway, but now it's a lot better, so I can at least deal with the heat, because it's easier to heat it up or put heat lamps on stuff than it is to run air conditioning and then run a machine and hope you don't throw a breaker. It's different being in a non-commercial space, if you know what I mean. But I do still have some of the implements that I had before. I've got my downdraft vacuum bench, some stuff going on over there. And of course, you can see I've just got a lot of things over here. So right now I'm able to walk around a little bit because Mrs. Wilson has the car out and about today. But anyway, I was doing literally during the summer, doing shifts in the morning and generally in the evening, avoiding the main part of it, or just running out and twisting a clamp and running back in kind of thing. Not fun, but we make the best out of it. I've been actually cheering myself up to the extent that I can, because I'll be honest with you, it's been a very demoralizing, perhaps even depressing time. As seeing those stairs over there, back like in April or May, I took a fall down those things and hurt my back pretty badly. So fortunately, that all kind of, I recovered from that within about 6 weeks, but it was 8 weeks maybe. But yeah, it was just something else. The instrument survived, I was holding, but I broke the fall, so that's where it goes. As far as ETAs, it's still an unknown quantity at the moment. But I try to, like I said, I've been trying to take a vision beyond this, and perhaps a place called Sparrow Haven, probably not gonna be in California, maybe somewhere in hill country, Texas, I don't know. But it would be a vineyard compound, a bunch of cottages, a little village of older luthier, engineers, artisans, and tech bros, kind of going for the sunset career while we're training up the next generation of hand-picked talent. So, hey, I'm gonna throw the spaghetti on that one. So pitch deck coming out, but it may or may not stick, but you know, give it a shot, because I think that would be a great sunset for the thing. The film composer's Secret Weapons coming out soon, the movie, the documentary where the film composers themselves tell the story. In any event, as always, Have an exceedingly awesome day. Stay inspired. Stay going.